What if I told you there is a citizenship by investment program right now where a single applicant can get a second passport for a total cost of under $100,000? Not a residency card, not a long-term visa, an actual passport issued in hand within roughly 2 months. That program exists. It launched in 2025. It is already issuing passports, and it is the cheapest CBI on the planet. Today, I'm going to walk you through every single detail of the São Tomé and Príncipe citizenship by investment program. The costs, the documents, the process, who qualifies, what the passport actually gets you, and why we believe right now is the best time to move on this. Let me start with the basics. São Tomé and Príncipe is a small island nation in the Gulf of Guinea, off the west coast of Central Africa. 2 main islands, a population of roughly 219,000 people, and a former Portuguese colony that gained independence in 1975. The official language is Portuguese. The country is a member of the African Union, the United Nations, and importantly, the Community of Portuguese Language Countries, also known as CPLP. That last point matters, and I will come back to it. In August 2025, São Tomé and Príncipe officially launched its citizenship by investment program under Decree Law No. 7 of 2025. Applications opened in September 2025, and by January 2026, the first passports had already been issued. That is a remarkably fast rollout. Now let us get into what this actually costs, because this is the headline number that makes people pay attention. For a single applicant, the qualifying donation to the National Transformation Fund is $90,000. On top of that, there is a $5,000 application fee. That is non-refundable and goes directly to the Citizenship Investment Unit for due diligence and processing. After approval, you pay $350 for passport issuance, $250 for the certificate of registration, and $150 for a national ID card. That brings the total for a single applicant to roughly $95,750, under $100,000 all in for a passport. There is nothing else on the market at this price point. For a couple or a family of up to 4 members, the donation increases to $95,000. Each additional qualifying dependent beyond the fourth costs $5,000 extra. So a family of 5 would be at $100,000 in donation alone, plus the per-person document fees and one-time submission fees. Still remarkably affordable compared to any other citizenship by investment program in the world. Now here is something important to understand about how we work with this program at Goodbye Matrix. We are an official licensed marketing agent of the São Tomé and Príncipe CBI program. What that means practically is that we process your application directly with the Citizenship Investment Unit. And here is the key differentiator. We do not charge professional fees for this program. When you work with us, you pay the donation amount and the official government fees. That is it. No agency markup, no consulting surcharge on top. Why can we do this? Because the documentation requirements for this program are genuinely simple. Most of our clients can gather and prepare their own documents. If you prefer, we offer an optional document preparation package where we handle the certification and formatting of your application file so it is ready for submission. But that is a choice, not a requirement. You are not forced into paying thousands of dollars in agent fees just to access the program. This is a massive difference compared to how most CBI agencies for this program are working, where agency fees can add $10,000, $15,000, sometimes $20,000 or more on top of the program cost. Let me walk you through who actually qualifies. You need to be at least 18 years old. You need a clean criminal record. You need to demonstrate a legitimate source of funds, and you need to be in good health. That is essentially it. There is no language requirement, no residency requirement, no interview, no visit to the country, and no cultural or history test. The entire process is fully remote. In terms of restricted nationalities, only North Korean citizens are excluded. Even citizens of countries that are typically restricted in other CBI programs, such as Russia, Iran, Afghanistan, or Venezuela, are eligible to apply. Stateless persons can also apply. Now let us talk about family inclusion, because this is where the program gets even more attractive. You can include your spouse or civil partner on the application. Proof of cohabitation is accepted for unmarried partners. Children can be included if they are unmarried, financially dependent on the main applicant, and under 30 years of age. Parents and grandparents can be included if they are 55 or older and financially dependent. And adopted children are treated the same as biological children. There is also flexibility after the initial approval. Newborn children of a citizen of up to 1 year of age can be added for a $500 fee. And you can still add other family members later, $10,000 for a spouse or partner, $5,000 for your parent or grandparent, plus $5,000 for the new application processing. One detail worth noting, same-sex spouses cannot be declared as dependents on the application, and only one spouse can be added per application. Let me now walk you through the actual application process step by step. Step 1, you work with us to prepare your full application file, including all the required documents. That file gets submitted to the Citizenship Investment Unit. Once they confirm the application is complete, they issue an invoice for the $5,000 application fee. Step 2, the Citizenship Unit conducts due diligence checks. The government reviews the results and makes a decision typically within 30 to 60 days of submission. Step 3, you receive either an approval in principle letter or a rejection. If approved, a new invoice is issued for the full donation amount plus document fees. Step 4, you have 90 days to complete the payment. Once the funds are received, the unit initiates issuance of your certificate of registration, national ID card, and passport. Step 5, your documents are prepared and handed over. The average processing time from submission to passport delivery has been around 2.5 months, with the fastest cases completed in as little as 1 month. Compare that to Caribbean programs where you are looking at 4 months minimum, often 6 to 8 months. And Vanuatu, which was similarly fast in the past, starts at $130,000, 40,000 more than São Tomé, and takes significantly longer nowadays. Now, what does the passport actually get you? As of the most recent data, the São Tomé and Príncipe passport provides visa-free or visa-on-arrival access to over 70 countries. Key destinations include South Africa, Singapore, Hong Kong, Malaysia, several Caribbean nations like Barbados and Dominica, and Central American countries like Costa Rica and Guatemala. It is not a Schengen passport. It does not give you access to the European Union or the United States, but that shields this passport from external pressure from the West, as they cannot lose this visa freedom like other programs. Anyway, that is not why you would get this passport. The real strategic value here is diversification. In a multipolar world where geopolitical alignments are shifting, having an African passport from a neutral, stable, Portuguese-speaking island nation is a different kind of optionality than having a Caribbean or Pacific passport. It opens doors in regions where European or American passports sometimes create friction, and it diversifies your identity portfolio in ways that are genuinely complementary rather than redundant. There is another angle that makes this interesting for long-term planning. São Tomé and Príncipe is a member of the CPLP, the community of Portuguese language countries, and this includes Portugal, Brazil, Angola, Mozambique, and others. CPLP membership can facilitate residency and naturalization pathways in other Portuguese-speaking countries. For example, Portuguese authorities have been discussing naturalization timelines, and citizens of CPLP member states may benefit from shorter residency requirements for Portuguese naturalization compared to citizens of non-CPLP countries. This is not guaranteed, and policy frameworks evolve, but it is a meaningful structural advantage worth understanding. The passport itself is an ordinary passport, identical to what natural-born citizens receive. There is no special marking or distinction. It is valid for 7 years for adults and 3 years for minors under 16. You can renew at any São Tomé and Príncipe embassy or at the Citizenship Investment Unit office in Dubai. São Tomé and Príncipe allows dual and multiple citizenship, so you do not need to renounce your current nationality. Just make sure your country of origin also permits dual citizenship. A few more practical details. The government does not publish the names of CBI citizens. Crypto can be used as a source of funds, and with us you can make the payment also with crypto. Documents can be submitted in English or Portuguese. You do not need to travel to São Tomé for any part of the process. No in-person interview, no visit requirements, nothing. Everything is handled remotely through us as your licensed agent. If you ever want to renounce citizenship, that can also be handled through the citizenship unit in Dubai without needing to visit the country. Now, let me give you our honest perspective on timing. This program launched in 2025. It is new, the requirements are straightforward, the document list is manageable, the processing is fast, and the cost is the lowest in the entire CBI market globally. But if you've been watching the citizenship by investment space for any length of time, you know how this story tends to unfold. We have seen it repeatedly with Caribbean and Pacific programs. When a CBI launches, it starts lean, minimal documentation, fast approvals, straightforward process. Then, over time, international pressure, compliance standards, and political considerations lead to additional requirements, more documents, longer processing times, higher costs, stricter due diligence, potentially restricted nationalities. This is not speculation. It is the observable pattern across virtually every CBI program that has matured over the past decade. Right now, São Tomé is in that early window. The program has received close to 100 applications since launch. It has already issued passports. The infrastructure is in place, the unit is operational, and the process works. But we would not be surprised if the requirements become more complex in the coming months. More extensive source of funds documentation, additional background checks, possibly higher costs. That is simply how these programs evolve. So if you have been considering a second passport and the affordability of this program appeals to you, our advice is to move sooner rather than later, not because there is panic, but because the conditions right now are as simple and as affordable as they are likely to be. And the way to do that with us is straightforward. Reach out to us at saotome@goodbyematrix.com. We will walk you through the entire process. We are official licensed agents. You work directly with us. No unnecessary intermediaries. You pay the donation and the government fees, and nothing extra in professional fees. If you want help with document preparation, we offer that as an optional package. If you prefer to handle it yourself, we support that too. Either way, you get a direct, transparent path to your São Tomé and Príncipe passport. This is what we do at Goodbye Matrix. We help you build sovereign structures across multiple jurisdictions. A second passport is one of the most fundamental building blocks in that architecture. And right now, São Tomé and Príncipe is making that building block more accessible than it has ever been.